All right. At 7:10, we are 10 minutes behind time. And I think once we have the full house, we should be able to start now. We are expecting 2 more speakers, and I hope they do join us in due time. My name is Nayado Show. I am your host. I have with me my learned panel members who are going to help us digest today's topic. We're going to discuss about relationship. I think relationship is a beautiful thing that everybody would wish to enjoy to the fullest. Along the line, you have some issues. When we have issues in our relationship, how do we deal with it? And when at a point when we feel our relationship has really outlived its usefulness, how do we get the closure we need? So today we are going to discuss around those topics. What are the expectations that people have when they are entering into relationship? Do they meet their expectations? What are some of the realistic and unrealistic expectations that we're going to have? So on the show today, I have Mr. Gabriel Say, I have Madame Sandra, I have Anita, and these are my panel members who are going to help us to digest the topic. You can share your comments or you can share your experience with us in the comment section. We are live on Facebook, so you can also join the discussion. I welcome you to the show, my panel members.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here once again.
All right. Have we lost Sandra? Okay. I think we've lost Sandra, but I do hope that she will also join in due time. All right. So as I said earlier, we are discussing relationship and how we can get the better or how we can get the best out of our relationship. So today's topic, are you tired of your relationship? How do you end a relationship that has outlived its usefulness and getting the closure you need to move on? This is the topic we are going to discuss, as I said earlier, and we're going to answer a lot of questions that bother the minds of a lot of people. How do we enter relationship, or why do we enter relationship? And when we are entering into relationship, are there some realistic and unrealistic expectations in the relationship? What do you consider before you enter into a relationship, being a man or a woman? And at what point, what accounts for the lack of interest in relationship? A relationship that started so beautifully, what accounts for the lack of interest at a point that may likely lead to breakups? And when in a relationship, when in our relationship, do we say that that relationship has also outlived its usefulness? When do we get closure, and what does it mean to you as a person? So this is what we're going to discuss. Without wasting time, maybe I'll start with, Gabby is gone. The network is really going to disturb us today. All right, Anita, it looks like with you and I on the show. I'm hoping they will join us. So as I said earlier, we're going to discuss about relationship. In the first place, what are some of the reasons why people enter into relationship in the first place? You being a woman, what are some of the reasons that you consider when you want to enter into a new relationship? All right, we still have Gabriel and Sandra back. Thank you so much for connecting with us. So I was asking the reasons why do we enter relationship? What are some of the reasons why people enter relationship? It's good we have the opposite sex on the show So I'm sure we're going to hear from the perspective of women what they consider before they enter into any relationship, any romantic relationship, and the view of also the men, what do they look for before they consider any relationship. I was on Anita, so maybe we would like to hear from Anita and then we take it from there.
Okay, hello.
Yeah.
Hey, so I hope that background noise is not too much.
Anita, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So, when you say what one looks out for in a relationship, I would first of all ask what kind of relationship. So it depends on the type of relationship actually, and that would determine what would be the criteria that maybe I would be looking out for.
All right.
So
I stated earlier that we are talking about romantic relationship.
yes.
That is
So
what on.
yes, romantic, but is the noise coming from my end? Sorry. Hello. Oh, it's not from me.
Yes, it's better now.
It wasn't from me. Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying is that I'm trying to work on my lighting. Sorry, a minute. Is it better now? Okay. Okay, great. So yes, romantic relationship, but for me, I look at romantic relationship on different bases. You get it? So I may be in a romantic relationship that maybe I'm thinking long term. Then for some, maybe romantic, but just for the fun of it. And then romantic, maybe short term. You get it? So, well, for me, on a general ground, I would look at the stability of the person. When I say maybe stability, at least the person has a source of income or is working, let me say. And then you look at the age of the person. If it's someone I can date, then you look at the background. So where is the person from? Not like where the person from, like maybe the tribe. No, I mean like the upbringing, then religion. I would look at that. So because we have people that are to the extreme, I may not be able to date someone who is an extremist in a particular any religion at all. So I would also look, maybe the person has maybe a child or not. I mean, has children or not. Maybe the person was once divorced or is widowed. I mean, a widower, sorry. So as a woman, it depends on so many things. But I think the first basic thing will be the communication and the compatibility. I'll look at those two first. Let me put it that way.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll come back to you, but let me go to Sandra. Sandra is okay. I'll end there.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, you have a lot to share with us.
Oh, well, no, I'll just answer the question you asked. Why do people go into relationships? Human beings, as you know, long for companionship, long for affection, long for attention, long to be in the company of people. Now, when it comes to dating somebody, you just don't get up and say you want to date. As per what we're talking about, I'm sure we're going to get into that in a little bit, but it's all to do with purpose. You always need to date with purpose. Date with, I call it the end game. You date with a vision. You date according to the way that you want to be dated. It's not que sera, sera. It's not what will be, will be. You need to strategize your life. You need to plan your life. You need to know what you want. You need to articulate what you want to the person you want to date, or the person that comes into your life, whether you are a man or a woman. It doesn't really matter, but you need to strategize your life. You need to have a purpose. You need to know if your values align. You need to know if your visions aligns. You need to know if your dreams align. And so when it comes to dating somebody, or why people go into relationships, it's a very broad subject. You can't just say it's because you want to feel loved. No, people go into relationships because of something, with so many diverse reasons. Okay, so like I said, for affection, for attention, for love, your purpose, your visions, your dreams. And someone will even go into a relationship because they like the way you smile. That is the human mind. So going into relationship is diverse, but let's just leave it there. As and when we're going along, I'm sure we'll be able to delve into more.
All right, Sandra, I'll come back to you. Is it wrong? Is it wrong for a woman to ask a man, you meet me today and you tell me you are interested in me? Is it wrong for me to ask you, so when or what exactly do you want from me? Or is just too early to ask that question on the first date?
No, if a man sees you and tells you, I'm interested in you and I want to date you, one is because of something that attracted them to you. It's an attraction, okay? So something attracted you to them. It could be the way you talk. It could be the way you stand. It could be your legs. It could be your face. It could be anything at all. Like I said to you, somebody can even want to date you because of how you smile, all right? So a man can see you, Nanaya, and say, I love the way you're very bold. I love the way you stand up and you are very forthright. I love the way you are able to handle pressure. I like the way you do things. And so these are the reasons why they got attracted to you in the first place. Now, when it comes to dating you to the end, there is more. It's not just because of the way you were talking when they met you. Your character will come into play. The way you behave will come into play. Your purpose will come into play. Your vision will come into play. And the dreams you have for the future will also come into play. So it's not wrong for somebody to see you today and say, I'm attracted to you. Never. It's not wrong. Have I answered your question, Anaya?
Yes, you did. It's not wrong. So in fact, on my first date, I can ask any question that comes to my mind.
No.
Including even the way it does.
No, this is why somebody gets attracted. This is why somebody got attracted to you. But then when you start dating, on your first date, we have etiquette for first dates. Maybe another time we can do a program or a show on that. As to the questions you even ask on a first date and questions you ask on second date. You just don't get up and start blubbering on the first date. The person might like you, but might be put off by the way you carry yourself even on the first date. Okay, so it's not every question that comes into mind that you blurt out. You have to use wisdom.
Thank you so much. I think it was very deep. Use wisdom so that you know what to ask. We are still live on Facebook. This is Nayado Show. You can join us by sharing your comments in the comment section on Facebook. I'm going to read it for you. Now we have Sikapa, Nana J. Sikapa on the show. Nana, you're welcome to the show. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
All right. Gabriel, we are coming to you.
I'm ready.
Being a man, before you see a lady and you say, wow, I love to get close, what are the things that you look for? Or when you get close to the lady, what are the things that will compel you to fall deep into her?
Well, good evening to you all. Good evening to those watching and those listening. It's a big one. What do we look out for as men? when we meet a woman. Obviously, most of the things that women look out for, Sandra has said quite a lot. Anita has also added a bit to it. What I can say is that it's one of the most basic needs of any human is security, affection, and the like. So when I meet a woman, some of the things I would want to look out for, especially if I'm attracted to her. Of course, um, what attracted her to me in the first place? It could be her beauty, it could be her figure, how she looks like. Obviously, no one walks around with hard working written on her forehead, with humility written on her forehead, with all those
Yes.
things, nice things we talked about, those virtues we talk about written on their forehead. So it's what I see that attracts her to me. And so those are the things that I look out for on the first time. It is only after we have met and we start speaking, we start talking, that I'm able to understand the kind of person you are, how deep you are on issues. So yes, so I would also look out for intelligence. I would look out to see somebody who is very outspoken but also humble. I wouldn't want to use the word submissive because it connotes a whole lot of things, but I think humility is a much safer word to use. And so these are some of the things. Of course, every man after meeting a woman, or most men after meeting a woman, would have one of two things in mind. We are always waiting in the background to see when it is right to hit. So with that in mind, we are not just looking at just somebody who is only smart or something like that. We are looking at somebody who has all the attributes that any man would want to look out for. Of course, sometimes social status also matters because there are some men who believe that they cannot be with certain women from certain classes. So all these things come to play when we meet a woman. But of course, the first thing is the physical, what we see. That's what attracts us first. Then all others follow.
All right. The very question that I asked Sandra, I'm going to ask you the same question. In case I'm having a first date with you, okay? You possibly saw me out, you asked, well, I like you, can we have a date? How would you feel when I asked you, when you tell me you're interested in me, and possibly I asked you, what exactly do you want? At that point, the first date, do you really know what exactly you want from me? Is it a right question to ask you as a man? What's your
Well,
feeling?
yeah, I think asking that question on the first date will throw some men off balance. But the truth is that before we approach you, we already know what we want, or at least a semblance of what we want. Assuming that I am in for the long term, I'll take that question and give you a philosophical answer. But if I'm in for the short term, I'll also give you an answer that you want to hear. Because obviously, you want to hear something that would either make you stay or leave. Therefore, I would assess the situation and tell you what you want to hear. And most of the time, it's very sugar coated. I admire you and I want us to be in a relationship that could lead to marriage. Of course, for a lot of people, once marriage comes into the picture, it changes the whole dynamics. It makes them smile because some women actually eat, drink, sleep, marriage. So once they hear that, it's green lights for them. So if you ask me that question on the first date, as awkward as it may be, because the first date is supposed to be putting out feelers, trying to understand each other, try to see how we can move on from the first date. But if you should ask that question, I would tell you something that you definitely would love to hear, which will make you want to have a second date.
It's really getting interesting. I'm enjoying this conversation. Sikapa, we welcome you once again to the show. We are discussing how one can end a relationship that has outlived its usefulness, and then getting the closure he or she needs to continue or move on with his or her life. Now, I would like to ask you, Do you think in our relationship we have some unrealistic expectations? What are some of the unrealistic expectations that people enter into relationship with? Could you please unmute yourself and good.
Okay, okay. Loud and clear now.
Sure.
Okay, okay. Most people enter into relationship with expectation. For example, some people enter into relationship basically of the body of the woman, maybe the nice boobs, the big butts, the color, and everything. So when you enter into any relationship with expectation, when your expectation is so high, that means your partner needs to always meet your expectation. And when a day comes and they are not able to meet up with your expectation, that brings to an end to your relationship. One, most people think marriage changed someone. Marriage can never change your partner. Marriage can never change your partner. So we shouldn't expect more from our partner. We should know that this is the person that I'm going to date. This is the person that I'm going out with. This is the person that I'm going to sentence the rest of my life with. We enter into marriage with reality, not expectation. This is the person that I want to settle down with. This is how he is. I need to acquire knowledge to live with such people. Do you get it? So most people expect more, but they themselves don't avail themselves to what? For them to produce more. It's what you bring on the table that makes a marriage or relationship is like a barter trade. When the deal is good, we are good to go. When the deal is bad, that is where we end it. So most people enter into a relationship with so much expectation. And when the expectation comes, then that means that I need to meet your expectation. So when I'm not able to meet up with your expectation, then that means a breakup or divorce will come. Most people.
All right.
Okay.
Sure, you can talk.
Okay. Most people are not honest. Honesty, trust, all these things. Most people are in a relationship where they cannot trust their partner. When he or she is going out, he thinks that he's going to meet up with a different person. So once the trust is being broken, then that means that ends it.
All right, sure. This question I will ask Sandra and Anita. First, I'll start with Sandra. Is it wrong for me to say that, well, I'm looking for a dark-skinned, tall man with pink lips, who is rich, who is possibly a PhD holder, and who has his own house, at least with some 3 cars parked inside? Is it unrealistic?
Okay, let's go back to the board. We have realistic expectations and unrealistic expectations. Everybody in life should have an expectation. If you don't have an expectation, you're just like a shadow, okay? Where there's no sunshine, that's it. When there's sunshine, then you come out. No, everybody in life needs to have an expectation of something, whether it's the relationship you want, whether it's the woman you want, whether it's the man you want, whether it's the future you want. However, what you've just given might become unrealistic because you might not get everything in one person. Before I got married, I think a lot of people thought I was crazy because I had set a standard so high for the man I wanted to live with. And people think there is no way you're going to get this. But let me tell you something. The Bible says all good and perfect gift comes from God. When you don't have an expectation and you are Sarah, anything and anyhow you settle for. But when you know what you want in the person, he might not be a PhD holder, he might not be dark skinned, he might not have pink lips, might not have a mansion with 3 cars. But there will be something in that person that you want as a woman. Could be the way he talks to you, the way he treats you, the way he makes you feel, the way he urges you to go on, the way he cheers you
He
on
goes to the
when you
kitchen
are
and cooks for
excelling.
you.
Exactly. So you need to have an expectation. If you don't have an expectation, I'm sorry, but you're not going anywhere. So you need to know the kind of realistic expectations you set. And then what you've just mentioned is unrealistic expectation, because you might not get everything in one person. But the realistic expectation is good character, respect, honor, they love you. That is realistic. So you need to set that. What Sika Pat said about people have, because of the body and all that. Yeah, people go into relationship because the woman is looking nice. And then when she has a baby and then the belly becomes big and then the boobs begin to sag, then you think, what kind of a woman are you? That was their expectation. But then you need to know that women change, people change, even men change with age. All right. Could you mute? All right, thank you. So you need to know that these are unrealistic and realistic, but you need to have an expectation of what you want in the person. You need to set a standard. You see, when you don't set standards for yourself, you settle for anything. But when you have a standard that you are okay with, realistic standards, I'm sorry, but you will not settle for anything less, and you will not get anything less than what you expect. All right. So we need to know what the realistic expectations are and what the unrealistic expectations are. A mansion, three cars, and PhD holder might be unrealistic, because before they get there, they probably have settled with somebody else, and so you might be maybe a side chick. Okay, but before they got there, maybe they finished their masters, they're now building their house and they're getting on the ladder. That is realistic because you can get that. But with all what you've said, it becomes unrealistic. So then when you don't get that in the person, you are disappointed. But whether you are a man or you are a woman, you need to set a standard for yourself. You need to set realistic expectations for yourself. If not, you will settle for less than what you deserve in life.
Great. I'm going to ask you this very important question again before I come to Anita. Let me use, for the lack of better word, let me use the sugar daddy marriage. Okay, sugar daddy marriage is becoming rampant these days. You see a 26-year-old girl or a 30-year-old girl getting married to possibly a 70-year-old man. What do you think are some of the reasons? Is it really love? What do you think are some of the reasons that compel these women to subject themselves to such relationships?
Before a 30-year-old woman will settle down with a 70-year-old man, it might 99.9% is what they're getting. Okay. So no young woman will settle for an old fool or an old poor man. I'm sorry, it doesn't happen. Before the young girl will settle for the old man must be on dope, must be very, very rich, that all her material things are catered for. And normally these young girls have side niggas where they have their own fun with them. They might be with the old man because the old man is providing them with the luxury they want, the holidays
And
they want to go.
that's her realistic expectation.
Yes, the car they want to drive in, the house they want to live in, the Dubais they want to go, the cruise they want to go. That is what she wants. Okay. And so she has settled for that. In as much as she might not be happy with the man, but because the man is supplying her needs, she settles for it. That is what she set for herself. That is that's not even her expectation. Her reality is that I'm living large, I'm living good with the old man because the old man is rich. I said no young girl will settle with an old poor man. Trust me. Have you seen a young girl with a poor man before? No way. They wouldn't do it.
That.
No way. They wouldn't do it. The man has to be rich, and that is the person's reality. That's what they're living. Okay, they're expected to live good, to live a luxurious life, and the man has offered that. So that is it. But then on the side, because she might have all the material things, but deep down in her heart, she longs to spend it with somebody else, somebody round about her age that knows how to tickle her, knows how to let her feel. And so these young girls tend to go around and have all these boyfriends on the side. It is what it is. You can't change it when it comes to settling with an older man. It is what it
It's
is.
so perfect. I mean, yes, I understand you. It is what it is. So our old men, I mean, when you are coming, you should make sure you are loaded. You don't come with empty pockets for a 30-year-old
the young girl will
man
not settle
or
for an empty pocket.
20-year-old
Definitely not.
woman. All right, Anita, I'm coming to you. What are some of the expectations? I mean, what do you look for? What are the expectations? Some unrealistic or the realistic expectations? Let me first ask, what are some of the unrealistic expectations that women usually enter into relationships?
Nana, are you talking to me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, so we're just, okay.
Unrealistic expectations. Well, it all depends on where the person is coming from. So, my own unrealistic expectations may be what the person may see as something that will be realistic. And some people sometimes achieve it at the end of the day or in the long run. So it all depends. But for example, young couple or two young people who want to live together or get married, and then you, the lady, feel that he should have so amount in his account. He should have this type of car, maybe a Lexus. He should be a chartered accountant or an expert in his field. He's just starting for Christ's sake. So those things are unrealistic. You get it. Even if you are going to be a school principal, sometimes you have to start as a teacher, a classroom teacher. You go up the ladder. So at that particular moment, it's unrealistic. But some too, they want to maybe, be in a mansion, this fairy tale kind of expectations, the way they see in the movies, how when the husband comes, the maid serves the husband, she wears a nightgown in bed. In reality, these things may not be so. When you go into the marriage, they may not be so. Fine, you set expectations, but then sometimes in the reality, when you're in the home, it is not so. So for the unrealistic expectations, it all depends. So for example, you are in Ghana and then you feel you want to have white kids. So you are not going to marry any black. You yourself too, you don't have money to even maybe buy a ticket or get a visa to travel out to even maybe where you would meet white men. But you feel that right here in Ghana, you may meet a white guy or a Chinese who you are going to have the kids with. You see, that's unrealistic as well. And meanwhile,
But the
maybe
Chinese are coming here. The
oh
Chinese
yes,
and the Indians are in their
yes.
numbers.
So then that means you have to be throwing yourself at them and the rest of it. So some things are not really, realistic. But just like I said, it all depends on the person. Maybe that's just what the person wants. Because sometimes for some people, when you tell them it is unrealistic, they look at you as if maybe you are not wise or you are being too, maybe you talk too much. So these things these days, well, if that's what the person wants, then I just say, oh, okay, fine. You get it. Some people too, you look at the long distance relationships, sometimes you know that it is unrealistic. For example, you are in Ghana here, the guy fine, he's a Ghanaian or he's a Nigerian or he's a West African, but where he is, the country where he is, he doesn't even have the papers yet. So he can't even travel. And because of that, you are waiting for him. He is there, he's maybe getting married to somebody for papers so that he will get his permit and all that. You are here still waiting and all those things. They are all not, realistic. some things you just have to let go. So for me, it depends on individual. Depends on individual. Sometimes to I may not, I don't like saying this thing, but I mean it is religion, age. You get it. So religion, there are some certain religion you are getting married to. You definitely know that in the long run, especially the men, is likely maybe to get a second wife or a third wife. But some people ignore these things at the beginning and feel that, oh, he loves me and all that. No, people change. That is his religion. It is allowed. So he may become polygamous later. So we should bear all those things in mind. Now, the age factor, just like Sandra was saying, I wouldn't marry a poor old man, even though we can have children, but I would want my children to be secured, even if not me, even if I'm not going to enjoy from him, I would want it to be that he has a house where even if I die or he dies impromptu, the children can live and have it in their name.
In other words, you need that for your
You need
kids.
the security. Yes, you get it. So it may not be for me, but for the children. So you look at that as well. You look at that, but people sometimes tend to ignore, especially some of the ladies now, they will tell you that, oh, age doesn't matter. She's maybe 38, then going for a guy who is 20 something because maybe she has the money. I mean, it may work now, but later
Anita,
on,
you met this man who is possibly a father of 4. Well, he's not so rich, but he loves you so much. And even before you realizing that he's not rich, you knew in your heart, you also feel something for him. He loves you so much. He comes around sometimes. He doesn't mind cooking for you, pampering you. Isn't it enough?
like he's a married man.
No, he is possibly divorced.
Okay.
Yes. 4 kids or 3 kids. You later realize he's not so rich.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he's possibly just 65 years old.
Yeah, if he's okay, why not? If you see what you like in him, at least he has a source of income whereby he can eat, he can access healthcare, and he can look after his own children, the ones he has before. You get it? But in a case where he's not even able to take care of those children, I wouldn't take myself there. You understand my point? I don't know if you get my point. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Money, it is not about money. I mean, it's not everything that is about money. But at least you know that the person has a source of income and is living, I mean, a normal life. Can pay for,
the way Gabriel is laughing, I think he has.
Yeah.
Gabriel, right after Anita, you are talking.
Yeah, at least the person can pay for his rent. And I mean, at 50, 55, as a man, you should at least have your own, 55 going, you should at least have your own shelter. So it's a whole lot of things. It's a whole lot of issues. For example, so this is just an example. Someone, I mean, I get a lot of suitors which I reject based on so many reasons, like some of these reasons. But the other day, someone was talking to me and he's a married man. You get it? And he's like he wants an independent woman who will be his girlfriend. So, and I asked him that, you want an independent woman? How many kids do you have? What does your wife do? He mentioned all those things. And I'm like, I mean, can you even take care of your kids? Why would you even want an independent? That's because he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to like maybe give you money and stuff like that, but he still wants to go into, I mean, extramarital affair. I just had to talk to him and caution him and all that. So, I mean, these things, yeah, some people just live unrealistic lifestyles, you know. And I mean, I think it all depends on individuals. That's just what I would say.
All right, Gabby. In fact, I'm not
Yes.
asking you a question. Tell us what is in your mind.
You see, it's very interesting, but I think anytime women talk about security, it gets me thinking. I mean, I believe most of the time they are talking about money. The ability of the man to take care of them, take care of their needs, take care of their wants, take care of their fantasies, and all that it comes with. So the issue of, or even if it's not so rich, it's okay, blah, 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 it doesn't really play. Because the main issue here is when it comes to all these things about expectations, what are the basic fundamental needs of a woman that will make her feel loved and safe? What are the things you term reasonable and those that aren't? See, let's not forget that human beings change over time and things happen. So even if you have all these things listed, you have a bucket list of what you want to see in a man before you enter into a very serious relationship or even you enter into marriage, you should understand that he also has expectations, but he's probably lowered it a little bit just so he can accommodate the two of you and then try to work something out. So if you get your fundamental basic needs sorted with whoever you want to be with, then the next thing is building that foundation or building what would make you enjoy beyond the fundamental needs. You see, individuals and relationships change over time. I mean, your expectations today might change when you leave one culture and settle in another culture. So you're in Ghana and you're expecting that maybe your man must be at least working, must earn a decent salary. And even what is the definition for a decent salary? If it's decent enough to take care of himself and maybe one other dependent, you
but
might
Gabby,
also,
yeah. I'm not cutting you. Don't you think that the expectations that our women have, especially the African women, let me limit us to Ghana, expectations that our women have are possibly influenced by our orientation. The fact that we know, okay, they tell us that men are the heads of the family. And if you are the head, it's assumed that you shoulder the family's, the responsibility. So is it wrong for, if a woman is talking of security in marriage or security in relationship, is it wrong for them to think about money? I don't think.
Yeah, it's not totally wrong to think about money, but you see the poverty mentality that a lot of people have when entering into relationships and hoping that whoever they are dating becomes their financial savior. That is where the problem is, because you see, at the end of the day, you place so much pressure on the man, and if he isn't able to satisfy all that you hope he will do for you, then comes in the next guy. And seriously, that cultural aspect of our life where our parents, especially the mothers, advise their daughters that look, look at where you're coming from. Go and get somebody who in Chido, so be your default, somebody who is capable of. In fact, all they are trying to tell you is that look, go for someone who can lift us out of our doldrum. Go and take someone who can support you, not just you, but also the family, talking about themselves. So once that mentality is there, it's deep in our culture, you will get people talking about security, and it's money, basically money. Because if it's not about money, let's not even talk about love in here, because love grows, it becomes deeper and bigger over time. But the immediate immediate things that people look out for, especially some women look out for, is the ability of the man to take care of them. And in this day and age where people are flaunting their holidays on social media, they are in Dubai, they are in this place, and it puts a lot of pressure on the women too. So they also have that at the back of their mind that I should be able to have a man who can sponsor some of these things. And so you should, for me, you should look out for the fundamental needs. What will make you happy, safe, have a peace of mind with the man that you want to date. And then once you have that, if you're, yes.
Sorry, not to cut you, but I mean, the men too these days, they are looking for ladies who are well-to-do, you know, like the first thing they ask you, what do you do?
Yes, I will come to that.
We are learning from you. For so long, you've lived off us in that way. So now we've also realized that, I mean, we should also be looking out for women who can also take good care of us. Because since the nature bird has learned to fly without perching, the hunter will also learn to shoot without missing. You have practiced that art. You've honed it perfectly over the years. And so it's time that men also look out for some of these things. So it's more or less I wouldn't want to say tit for tat, but basically it is what it is, as Sandra would say. We are in this era.
All right, thank you so much. This is Nayado Show. We are still discussing how you can end relationship that has outlived its usefulness, and then getting the closure you need to move on. If you want to join the conversation, you can share your comment. We are live on Facebook. You can share your comment in the comment section, and we are going to read for you. If you are here on the Zoom and you want to contribute, you can just raise your hand and we will call you, or possibly leave your comment in the chat box and we'll read for you. I'm coming to Sikapa. Sikapa, what do a man need before he can enter into a relationship, a stable relationship? What do a man need? What must you achieve? Because we are talking of security here. I think the whole conversation now revolving around the security of possibly the woman and the kids. We are in Africa, so of course we should think of the security of the woman and the kids. What assurance do I have that this man I am going to marry will give me that security that I need? So being a man, what do you think you should need or acquire before you can bring such, I wouldn't want to call it a burden, such responsibility on your shoulder?
Okay, first of all, what a man need? One, I'm talking from my own experience. One, he needs to have contact with God. Before Eve was formed, Adam had a contact with God. That is the first one. That person needs, I'm not talking about a church goer. I'm not saying the person should be a church goer. The one should be a Christian who do the will of God. That is the first one. Second one, he needs to work. Irrespective of the job that he do, he needs to work, because Adam was working in the Garden of Eden. 3, the man should cultivate in every angle. Hey, let me say this. The woman that you dream of is in the picture of your mind. It takes a man who cultivate that raw material that you call your wife to the picture that you have in mind. For example, maybe per my standards, maybe I want a woman who is this, who is that, maybe, and who is well educated. But due to her family background, he wasn't able to enroll in school. After getting all that qualities, I can enroll that woman for my dream to come true, for that woman that I am expecting, for that woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with. So I need to cultivate her, to enroll her in the education level for the standard that I want my woman to be. God gave Adam protect. One, it's the man's duty to protect his home. It shouldn't be in the case where.
I'm really interested in the statement you made before this one, enrolling the lady in school. We will come to that. Sandra, please get ready. Yeah, Sikafa, you can still talk.
I'm not talking about any woman that you meet that you want to date, that you enroll in school. A woman who have a character, a woman who sees a future in you, a woman who have planned her life around you. That is the woman that I'm talking about. Not just any woman that you feel like dating there. Let me enroll this. At the end of the day, in Kabir, you know about Kasi is
But how would you know? How would you know that this woman? This question I should throw to Sandra later. How would you know? Because sociologists will tell you that there is nothing like change in our growth process. It's rather growth. We grow, but we don't change. And so as we grow, our preferences in life change as well. So I may not necessarily in my heart want to break your heart after seeing me through university or seeing me through my PhD or whatever. But as part of my growth, I have generated interest in something else, someone else, and as a result, I just dish you. That's why I'm asking you that from that beginning, how would you know that maybe fine, you have lived with this lady for a year, 2 years, 3 years. How would you know that this lady has permanently built a life around me such that I'm so willing to make such investment? Is it not risky that one would want to take?
Before I answer that, who you are is who you attract. If you're a bad boy, you pretend that you love a woman, you get a woman who is a pretender to pretend the same way for you to get married to them. It's who you are, is who you attract. Like, for example, magnet, like post attract, unlike post repair. Most guys, and as I say, most ladies do pretend, they hide their true identity and portray to be someone. So they end up getting a man who is of the same thing. When you have the Holy Spirit within you, you get a woman who has Holy Spirit within her. Who you are is who you attract. That is why it is better not to enter into a relationship with your heart first. Let my dream in the red flags will start showing right from the first date. But because you already fall in love with a man, that is where you might not know all the red flags.
Sorry, forgive me.
The who you are attracts whatever statement only works in physics. It only works in physics. See, you can be a very godly person and attract a Jezebel in your life.
Absolutely.
Unrealistic expectations.
See, if our pastors are to tell you their stories in the bedroom and in their homes, you'll be shocked.
Absolutely right.
You'll be shocked. So it's not always the case. That's why I said it only works perfectly in physics, where like poles attract unlike poles, whatever. But in real life, as we see it now, I mean, okay, you move on. I'm sure the moderator will bring us in. Sorry to interrupt you, bro.
I had to go for water because I was choking.
Based on what I was saying, one, the family that we are from makes people make a wrong choice in choosing their partner. There are families that they have set standards. Maybe you are falling in love with a lady who have a good character, but who is for a poor home. Your mom or your dad can force you to marry someone due to their expectation, due to how rich that they are. One, society can make you make a wrong choice. Two, age difference. Someone can say, oh, I'm growing old, let me get married to him. All my friends are getting married. There are so many circumstances that make someone to get married. Our celebrities, our gospel musician celebrities, most of them think that getting married to a pastor would rather help them in their music career. That is from their point of view. So they don't take time. You know, most people base on the physical appearance of the person. most people base on the physical, how the person talks, how the person behaves, maybe what we are doing. Someone can say, oh, this guy talks very well. Like Gabriel, oh, Gabriel is a good man. When I get married to him, I wouldn't have because he knows everything. But you have your flaws as Gabriel, the same thing as me. So there are circumstances that people make the wrong choice due to the situation that they find themselves in. But it is better. You need not to rush into marriage, because when you rush into marriage, you rush out. That is why, as Sandra was saying, you need to have a standard for yourself. Because my standard is this, and I need to go by it. When you take your time to choose your partner very well, you didn't make a mistake. I'm not saying no one is perfect. It's imperfect people trying to live a perfect life. So at times, it's they themselves, and I said, the kind of job that they do, when I get married to this person will help me in my career. So they make the wrong choice. They don't take precautions when choosing the right partner.
All right, thank you.
I think that people don't make the right choices because they don't actually know what they want. When you know what you want, know who you are. If you know who you are and you know what you want, you are not enticed.
Yeah, you didn't make a wrong choice.
No, you are not enticed by what people are portraying. Okay. And also, one thing you need to know is that human beings change, relationships evolve. What I like today, I might not like tomorrow. My partner might not like the same thing either. And you see, that the source of a beautiful relationship is the ability for couples to become friends. When you're friends with your spouse, it is beautiful. But because most people go into relationships with so many ideologies or unrealistic expectations, we get disappointed along the way. But when you know what you want, you said,
Sandra, on that, I would like to ask this very important question. You know, initially I asked a question about you asking the gentleman who claimed to be interested in you, or the lady who claims to be interested in you, till when. I'm asking this because I think we fail, especially women, we fail to ask the most important questions when a man comes into our life, when a man proposes to us. We just accept. Maybe the man saw you, well, I like your boobs, I like your skin color, I like the way you walk. And he said, well, I mean, I like you. I want us to get to know each other. In the minds of an African lady or some African lady, right there and there, she thinks she has a boyfriend. And the expectation will start building from there. She's hoping that this man will come and kneel before her and propose with a ring. And so when she waits and it's not coming,
she thinks you wasted her time.
Seem to be, exactly. I mean, what do you say about that? Do we fail to ask the most important questions?
The thing is, I don't think like the typical African woman, because I've spent most of my adult years outside Africa. And as per my job as well, and now getting back into my Ghanaian community, I've realized that a lot. That is why we're also trying to change the narrative that when a guy tells you I like you and you start dating, you are not exclusive yet. See, there are stages of dating. So if you like me and I'm going out with you for a meal, it doesn't mean that I am in a committed relationship with you. And so I can likewise go out with other guys that are showing interest in me as well. And that doesn't mean that I'm cheating on you. No, I'm getting to know all of you and I make my decision on who I want to settle down with, or who tells me that let's become exclusive. If the person is telling you, okay, Nanaya, I like you, I want to get to know you better, you go out on a couple of dates, and then he tells you, is it okay if we become exclusive? The moment you accept that you are exclusive with that person, it means you are in a relationship with that guy. And so then you don't see other men, he doesn't see other women. And then you get to know each other better. It does not mean that it's going to end up in marriage. Trust me, relationships can go on for a couple of years and then you realize it's gone past its sell by date. And that is when you need to say, adios, I got to go. but you don't stay in a relationship that has expired. Then it becomes rotten goods, and rotten goods are not good for purpose. But a lot of girls, especially with let me use Ghanaians, because I know Ghanaians and Kenyans a lot. So Kenyans and Ghanaian girls stay in a relationship that has got nothing to offer them. But because the guy says, oh, I'm okay with you, and so you're just there, he's treating you like rubbish. He doesn't respect you, doesn't love you, doesn't appreciate you, and yet you call yourself, oh, I'm a girlfriend of this guy. Excuse you? You are nothing. Okay, so you need to know the level of the relationship in which you are in. If I'm not exclusive with you, I am at liberty to go out with other guys who are actually showing interest in me. But what I've come to also realize is that in the Ghanaian culture, when you go out with different guys, they tend to call you promiscuous. They think you're a bad girl because you're out with this one, but they fail to realize that you're not exclusive with any of them. Exclusivity is what matters when you're beginning I'm dating, I'm getting to know you if I like you or not. We've gone out
So
for
they don't exclusive means
Sorry?
So I dream why.
What did you say?
They don't know what exclusive means.
Anita, they will beat you.
They date
Our
the
men
men.
will beat you.
They date the men and sleep with all of them at the end of the day.
You see,
and
that is what the trouble is.
That is where the problem is. So
Yes.
sorry, I'm not cutting you. Let me just say this.
No.
I once told a university doctor, let me just tell you this, who wanted to marry me. And I told him that this is what I want. This is what you want. Fine, we can come to a compromise. But I am not exclusive with you. So I would, if I get someone else talking to me, I would date the person as well. By dating, I mean maybe go to dinner, ask to know about the person. You get it. But the person doesn't even understand what it means. A university doctor, they don't know what it means. My sister,
so
forget them.
Let's change the narrative.
Sandra,
Gabriel.
you see, you can't go on a date with us.
Gabby.
Order all the shawarma, order all the foods ordinarily you would never buy yourself.
You see,
and tell me at the end of the day,
when you're trying to woo a woman,
exclusivity
I don't even order those things.
No. When you're trying to woo a woman, when
it depends on the kind of girls you people date.
You see, and the thing is, when a man is trying to woo a woman, he goes
out of his way.
Yes, to try to please her, to let her think that I'm the best thing that happened to you since sliced bread. And so then you begin to fall in love. And this is where some girls get it wrong, because the concept of the guy spending on you when you are in that honeymoon phase of the relationship, that's not necessarily guarantee that when he takes you to become his permanent, committed, whatever, he's going to do the same thing.
So we take an insurance on you.
Dating has got nothing to do with sex, and dating has got nothing to do with giving our money to girls. It's a wrong concept. When a lady sees a man and start asking for money, I'm sorry, dump them like they're hot. Likewise, when you start going out with a man and he starts saying, when are you coming to visit me in my house, and start doing all those nonsense, tell them, I'm sorry, I can't do that with you yet. Dating, I'm getting to know who you are. So what has getting to know who you are got to do with going to your bedroom or going and putting money in my account? No. If out of your own free will, you want to put money in my account and say, go do your hair, go do your nails, it's part of the wooing, which is acceptable. But no girl should ask a guy, my rent is due, my whatever. It puts me off when I hear the guys saying this. Girls, fend for yourself, make your own money, become your own independent woman, earn a living. Listen,
it's only in Ghana that you meet a girl today and next week is her birthday.
Yes, I want to, Sandra, I want to touch on that. Sandra touched a bit of it. Gabby,
my mother's funeral.
Hello, Anita. I think Sandra said a very important. She just made a very important statement that we have misconstrued the concept of dating. You meet a girl. There is nothing. I mean, sex and kissing, smooching, those things are not supposed to be part of dating. when you're talking a real sense of dating. It's not part of it. But a lady will meet a guy, they are trying to get to know themselves, possibly to think if they could, have a future together. And the gentleman will start demanding sex. In the mind of a Ghanaian woman or an African woman, she feels she is giving you something, and so she has to take something. So until we understand, exactly, until we understand that when I am dating you as a guy, I am not obliged to cook for you. I'm not obliged to wash for you. I am not obliged to give you sex. A friend of mine went to, the gentleman took her to the mother's home, and the gentleman said, you saw my mother washing and you didn't go to wash with my mom. And so you are not a wife material. You see, so I think these is very important. Maybe it should be one of the major topics we need to discuss one of these days. When we are dating,
Nanaya, hold on. Let me tell you something. My typical story, right? When I met my husband, okay, when we were dating, and he thought I didn't know how to cook. The reason being that I am not the typical Ghana girl that will come to your house and cook for you. I'm sorry, if you come to my home and I'm cooking for you, it's because you are my guest, and so I'm cooking for you. I am not obliged, I am not under any obligation to come to your home and cook for you. I can't, and I won't. And so I was telling somebody this, and your husband went ahead and married you. I said, yes, because he saw more than just the cooking. Until we got married, that was like living together. On the first day I cooked, my husband was shocked. He was like, so you knew how to cook? I'm like, yes, now it is my duty to feed you, my husband. But before then, I'm sorry, I am doing nothing for you because it is not my duty as a girlfriend to perform the duties of a wife. And that is one thing that the typical Ghanaian girls should also learn. Because then they go cook, clean, iron, wash. And then when the guy tells you, I don't want this relationship anymore, you start saying, you've used me because I came cooking for you. I came cleaning for you. I'm sorry, did he ask you to become a maid? When did dating become a master and a slave relationship? No. What if he wants to get a cook, let him get a cook. If he wants to get someone to help him clean. Listen, if you go to his house and he's washing and you feel like helping him out, yes, do that for the fun of it. You know, when you
Gabriel doesn't seem to agree with us. He's laughing.
But that is the typical man mentality that you are not a wife material because you didn't come to cook for me. That is the African, the Ghanaian man thinks you're not a wife material. So what if your wife doesn't know how to cook? Are you going to say because you can't cook, I'm not going to marry you?
Yeah, Sikapa.
Yeah.
Sikapa, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here. I'm listening.
Yes. I'm dating you, right? And possibly you invited me to visit you. When I came, your kitchen was in a mess. In fact, you have your dirty shirt stuff there. Your room was also in total mess. I just ignore them. Am I a wife material?
Hey, Nanaya, what kind of question is that? Are we even dating you again?
Nanaya, I think we're kind of like deviating from.
We are. I'm really enjoying this session. I just want to ask Sikapa this very last question, and then we move on.
You can tell him to go clean it up and help him clean it, but you're not obligated to do it, I think.
Oh yeah, sure. He's dirty. Sure. Don't date him.
Oh my God. All right. So thank you all for.
I think Sikapa wants to answer the question.
Okay. Dating doesn't mean say come to my house. Dating is I'm studying you, you are studying me, for us to know if we can settle down. There is something about Ghanaian girls. No. There is something about Ghanaian girls. Going on a date, maybe you go to a restaurant, for you to be a self-independent woman. When the man asks you, what do you want? You need to pay for your own food. If you want a man to respect you on a first date. when you go out with you, take enough money that you can buy the food yourself.
Who
In
called for
Ghana
the
here,
date?
he said,
Papa, who
I can
called
call
for
you,
the
say,
date?
oh, let's go on the date. I can call you. Now let's go on the date. When we go on the date, if you want the man to know how the qualities and I say how independent that you are, I advise people that you buy the food yourself as a woman. You need not to tell the man.
I'll cut you here.
I don't need to interrupt you.
I am in my house.
Yes,
I'm in my house. You call me for a date.
I was going
I
to say
have to pay for my own food.
No, listen. That we have something called etiquette in dating. It is my job, and so I teach that. Okay, etiquette in dating. When you're trying to woo a woman, and you ask her out on a date, she doesn't pay for her meal. When you go out as friends, like these kind of high guy friends, meaning we're just friends. If we're going out as just friends, I can pay for my own meal because we're just friends. But when you're trying to woo me, etiquette demands that the man pays for the meal and the lady does not order the most expensive item on the menu. You don't. If you haven't been to
that one that was about.
Yeah. If you haven't been to the restaurant before, let the man, if he's been there, let him choose. Oh, this is nice, this is this. And then if at the end of the day she wants to say,
they will order home to their brother. As a woman,
no, you don't do that. When a woman does that, it is wrong. It is wrong. You don't go ordering the most expensive lobster, the most expensive champagne on the menu. No, you don't. You don't. If you're not sure what you're ordering, no, you don't order that. It's too much. Because somebody else is going to pay for your meal.
All right. So Sandra, do you think
a bottle of water?
Do you think these are some of the reasons, as part of the reasons why people start losing interest in relationship? That's possibly, in the first place.
Come again, and I didn't catch your question.
Yes. Do you think some of these high demands, unrealistic expectations, are the reasons why people start losing interest in relationships and eventually leads to breakups?
Yeah, it does. It does. Because if I'm trying to date you, let's say I'm the man and I'm trying to date you, a young girl, and I take you out today and you start ordering the most expensive food on the menu, I might pay for the first date. If I'm still interested, I might pay for the second date, and that might be the end. You won't see me again. I start ghosting you. You see, because I've realized that you want to.
Some may become your friends.
You want to put your, the food that you wouldn't usually order for yourself when you go out with your girlfriend. When you go out on a date, don't do it. Let the man say, "Oh, I've tasted this meal, and it's nice. You can try it." If he offers that, that's cool. But you don't go looking for the most expensive. And I know lobster is expensive, so I use that a lot. You go to order the most expensive lobster. Instead of you to get maybe a house wine, you've gone to order for the champagne. You want the Moet, you want the whatever that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? And so these girls tend to like push the guys away. And then they tend to say, "Oh, this young lady is only after money." And it's true. Some of these young girls that I have spoken to recently, I've come to realize that they're not nurtured enough to understand the concept of dating and going into relationships. And so they come with all their baggage and their loads. No, I'm getting to know you. Let me know you. And if I want to spoil you, I spoil you. But don't come with the idea that it is my duty as a man to spoil you. That is a no-no. When you do that, you spoil even the most beautiful relationship that you can build. Because then the guy starts seeing you in a way that thinks, I don't think this is nice. I don't think this girl is. I'm trying to find a word that someone said recently to me. Oh yeah, yes. Oh, girl, wait. I thought, oh, this girl is a cool girl. You can try. I said, no. Hey, go away. And so that is how they see you. That is what you have portrayed. And so if one guy is saying, well, no, maybe he's going to say it to another person, another person will say it to another person, and then there you are, because that is how you portrayed yourself. You think, oh, me, if you don't have money, don't come date me. I'm sorry, you will be there, and nobody will try to date you because you've put yourself in that box that if you don't have money, don't come close to me. So when somebody's even trying to get into your circle, they won't. Just like a square and I'm a circle, I can't fit in it. We're not a perfect fit. It will not work. But when you go out on a date, gentlemanly, because the man is trying to woo the girl, it is the man's duty to pay for the date. If the girl says, I want to take you out on a treat, the girl pays for the date that night. If we go out as buddies, as friends, we can split the bill and pay. It is what it is. You can't, there's no two ways about that.
It is what it is. Gabby, lack of interest in relationship. What would you say? What will make you lose interest in that woman you once loved so much? Gabby, are you with us? Have we lost him? I think we've lost Gabriel. We have lost Gabriel. All right. We seem to have one guest on the show. All right, this is still Nayado. We are live on Facebook. It's really getting interesting. I'm enjoying the conversation and I hope you're also enjoying it. If you want to contribute, just leave a comment at the comment section on Facebook. If you're on Zoom with us, you leave your comment at the chat box and we're going to read for you. Let me go to Anita. We were trying to get Gabriel. I do hope. Okay, Gabriel is back.
Yeah, I'm back here. Sorry.
All right, Gabriel. We're asking lack of interest in relationship. What will push you to, or the woman you once loved so much? What will happen that you will lose interest in that woman that you would want to break up with her?
Well, I think with this one, I would say that when expectations change, when the relationship becomes lethargic, at the end of the day, you find yourself in a rut. You find yourself in the situation where you think it's no longer exciting as it used to be. It's no longer fun. It's become boring. Your vim, let me put it that way, your vim died. It could also be as a result of some challenges that both couples are going through or one couple is going through, which has not been resolved. But I would zero in on the fact that the relationship has sort of gotten to that point where both parties believe that the love, the passion is no longer there. However, no one is willing to bite the bullet and say, let's end it. What happens at that stage usually is that you're only existing in the relationship. The fire is gone, the spark is gone. And when the spark is gone, the chemistry dies and automatically you'll just be there like two relatives. No fire, no spark, no passion, etc. So when some of these issues become unresolved, then the relationship is doomed.
All right, thank you. Cynthia Hagen said the world cry is not fair because we, the hard-working ones, cry don't get good men. Cynthia, it's a problem. We will. It as well. All right, Gabriel. So you were talking about some of the reasons that may possibly lead to you having you losing interest in a woman you once loved. You being a man, usually what I have realized is that when a man loses interest in relationship, I don't know, maybe Sandra and Anita also speak to this because they are women. They might have experienced it or might have dealt with issues of the sort with their clients. When a man loses interest in a relationship, it becomes difficult for them to open their mouths to tell you. They start going funny. So you yourself, you realize that, well, it's there. And then you exit. How would you communicate that to your partner in case you think, no, this relationship, as we said in our caption, this relationship has outlived its purpose or has outlived its usefulness, and then maybe I need to move on. How would you communicate that to your partner? Or you think, well, if I go silent, you understand?
Well,
Are you talking from the man's perspective or from a woman's perspective?
This one from the man's perspective, because usually they go off, okay? Usually they go off. They won't tell you anything. And then you start thinking, maybe you start putting even blame on yourself. Have I done something? Have I said something wrong? Well, is that something I didn't do? Then you start thinking.
Yeah, it's always good to talk. It's always good to have communication in your relationship, whether you're dating in a committed relationship or you're married. I mean, communication is very, very important. So when you realize that and you see, people also tend to forget that playing the silent game and stonewalling is abuse. People don't know. But when you stonewall your partner, you are actually abusing them because they're not mind readers. They don't know what is going on. And I've kind of like realized that with a lot of Ghanaian guys, that they're not very forthright with their feelings. So they won't talk. They rather keep quiet about it. But on a typical note, you need to talk. So if your man is very quiet, not talking, silent trade and giving you all that cold shoulder, you ask them, what's going on? And 99.9% they say, oh, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. So you start making assumptions. But you need to know that you're no longer their priority because they're not prioritizing you. If you're dating and they tell you they're going to see you at 6, they're not going to get there for 6, probably get there for, maybe they won't even come. And then the next day or two, they send you a message to say, I'm sorry, I couldn't come. But if somebody starts treating you like that, you need to take a decision as a woman and know that, listen, this thing, I ain't going nowhere. But what happens is a lot of women, because they have their emotions so intertwined in the relationship, when the man starts pulling away, they rather now force themselves on the relationship. They tend to like become more available, more accessible, more,
all the time.
You were trying to be there for the guy. But listen, if a man doesn't want you, nothing you do will make him want you. So if you're able to talk, then you get to know, okay, listen, I think this relationship isn't like Gabriel said, this relationship is lost whatever it is that we came in with. It's no longer fun, it's no longer interesting, it's lost the spark. If you're married, on the other hand, that is a different ball game altogether, because then you need to go back to the drawing board and find out the reason why the passion is gone and start reigniting it, right? But if you're just in a normal relationship, then okay, you don't want me anymore. Do you want the relationship or you don't want the relationship anymore? You need to ask. But some women don't even ask at all. They start doing all that they can to make sure that the guy sees them as the woman of their dreams. It's possible that they might bless you, they might be going through issues as well. So once you're able to open up and talk, your name, whatever your name is, Mr. SKYZ, I've realized that recently you're not the usual fun self. When you tell me you're going to come pick me up or come so we can go out, you don't even come. I send you a message, you don't reply until 2-3 days after. What's going on? They might tell you, oh, nothing. But then that is when you also need, they have something called detaching your emotions, where you as a woman need to learn.
Very important.
To detach your emotions from such, so that you, in the end, you are not bitterly hurt. So you detach your emotions gradually until you find out that, okay, this relationship is done. You see, there's some relationships that don't,
that comes with a time. I mean, detaching your emotion, it's not easy at all.
No,
so you need to train your heart train your
Yeah.
mind.
That is why you need to
able to-
find out what's going on. In as much as he might be heartbroken because he's left through no fault of yours. And sometimes you see, relationship actually is funny. Human beings are funny. And I say that relationship is not difficult, it's the people in it. If you've
Exactly.
realized that the relationship has gone by itself by date, you need to let the person know. It's not every dating relationship that would end up in marriage. That's what people need to understand. If I've dated you for a year and I've realized that this is the end of the road for us, in as much as it's going to be painful or as difficult as it must be, we need to talk. I don't have to ghost you. I don't have to start giving you all this, you know what I'm saying? But men are quite funny, and then they begin to pull. The thing is, they withdraw, and so they take their emotions away from you. But because you are still in there, you think this is it. But then when somebody withdraws their emotions and you find out that they don't want you anymore, try by learning how to detach gradually, and you'll be fine.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Try and detach. Gabby,
Yeah.
why is it difficult for men to express their feelings when it comes to that? If you're not interested, you're not interested. Why is it difficult for you guys to express it?
Well, you see, we have, most of us have a very interesting way of ending relationships, and we ensure that we don't burn all the bridges. You know, if the relationship loses its spark, basically what most men will do is to find a new supplier. You find a new woman. Once there is a new
Oh, so
woman,
the new woman is a new supplier. Okay.
yes, let me play the devil's advocate there. So we find a new supplier while still keeping you in tow. The next thing is that we pick a fight with you over something totally
Very
unnecessary,
trivial.
something
Yeah.
very trivial. We pick up a
Oh.
fight with you, blame you for the loss of the passion, the loss of the spark in the relationship, and then we play the victim whilst we blame you for everything. Once
So
that stage over,
how will I know? How will I know that this guy has lost interest so that I don't wait for that fight? In fact, I don't want to wait for that fight. How? Yes, I don't want to wait for it.
Well, you see, women have a very special ability of detecting when a man is probably cheating.
Yeah.
You
Something in your
have that
guts would tell you.
uncanny
Yeah.
feeling
Your
that
intuition.
this man, exactly, that intuitive spirit, it's in every woman. Every woman has it. So you've got to trust your guts when it gets to that point. We would not mostly openly tell you it's over. Like I said, we don't want to burn all the bridges because we hope that after we've had our frolics with other people, we
can
hope
return.
that we can come back to you in a not too distant
Oh.
future. Yes. So we have to find a way to pick up that fight, that argument with you, blame you, play the victim. It opens a little window of opportunity because once we have it ingrained in you that you are the cause of it, it gives us a little window of opportunity to come back when we want to.
Narcissist behavior.
Yeah, yes, that's what is
Narcissist.
going through my
And that
mind
is how
now.
Ghanaian men are. 99% of them.
Anita will
You
always
see,
have problem with you
Anita,
guys.
the point is that when it comes to communicating some of these things, we men, most of us have a difficulty in telling you that I no longer want you. The relationship has outlived its usefulness. And most of the time, we may not even give you a reason. All we'll say is that I just don't feel it anymore.
I'm not
it's not
happy.
there. Yes. Or we would say the problem is not with you, but it's with me. I am the problem. I think I am the problem. And in order for you to have a happy life, I don't think I am the person that you can be with. That is how most of us will communicate it because deep down in us, we know that we are the problem. In actual sense, when we say we are the problem, we are not saying it to your advantage, but to our advantage because we actually know that we are the problem, especially when we are seeing other people and we no longer feel that you are of use to us anymore. Sad to say though, but communicating these things from a man's perspective is a difficult thing. So we show it in our actions, sometimes very subtly, sometimes too, we go all out to let you know that you've got to pack and go.
All right, Anita. You know, there are some men when they leave you, when the relationship ends, they still want to be your friend. As he said, you don't burn all the bridges. You still want to be your friend. Who knows what will happen in the future? Would you feel comfortable to be in such a relationship in a friendship relationship, let me put it that way, with your ex? I'm so sorry, I just had lights out, so my camera is a bit darker than that. That's Ghana for you. I will survive. This
Well,
guy, yeah,
mm,
you started, you realize that he's withdrawing. Would you wait till, all the lights, the red lights are shown, or you just exit? And when you are exiting, has he become your enemy? As we usually see, when you are out, you are out.
Well, I think for me, I've dated good quality men, and I don't think any of them is my enemy. But we are not dating. We are not dating. I don't entertain you. You can't come to me for casual sex. No, I don't do that. I am not your friend. We know each other. We dated in the past, so we are now acquaintances. Simple. It is anything
So
you are going to do. It is going to be like business. I'm not your enemy.
Anita?
Yeah.
So are you saying that there are some men who will leave you, who will leave the relationship and still would want to come back for casual sex?
Yeah, there are. They would leave you, and no fault of yours, with the cheating and everything, then still want to even keep you. Some even want to get married and still want to keep you, even see you a day before their wedding night, their day.
Very unhealthy.
Very, very, very. I don't do that. That is why I always write on Facebook, and people think maybe I have issues with men. No, I have dated very good men. I always keep saying this. And like, I meet good men, so I don't have any issues with men. No. But why would you, as a man, why won't you just say that, oh, please, I can't date you again? Just go straight to the point. Leave people in emotional trauma, mental trauma, for no reason. A lot of people that talk to me, it is relationship issues in Ghana here. Why?
It's
Why?
very painful.
And that is why the issue pains me a lot. I don't have issues with men because I have dated good men. I select good men for myself anyway. But for me, you are an ex. I wouldn't entertain you. No, I won't. Why would you be texting me, hello, dear? I am not your dear. Even on Facebook, I tell people not to call me dear. Call your wife your dear. Set boundaries with your exes.
Very important.
Set boundaries with your exes. These are the little things people don't know, and it damages marriage a lot. Please, let us set boundaries. You don't have to be sworn enemies. I'm not sworn enemy with anybody. No. I don't do that. I love my own peace. I want my own peace of mind. So if I even see the signs in the first place, I walk out. And I've never even been in such a relationship before. Just like I said, maybe it is because of the kind of men I have been with. You get it? Gentlemen to the core. And sometimes I think it is not, I'm not saying Ghanaian men are, all Ghanaian men are bad. No, but I think most of them that maybe have traveled a bit are a bit enlightened on this aspect. I think our typical men here are not enlightened at all. I
Anita,
think so.
the boundaries and the walls you spoke about, is it the walls of Jericho?
Well, yes, you can set the tower. The Tower of Zerubbabel. The Tower of
No,
Zerubbabel. You can set the
Sandra,
Tower of Zerubbabel.
Anita
So
just said
I
something
think
that
yes, and when you just see the signs, please just walk
Yes.
out. Always
Yes, she
just
said
walk out. And that is why I think this love of a thing, this is another topic I don't want to even go into. It is a whole lot of issues. You see, infatuation is what makes most people here go into relationship. And sex, there is nothing like love in this relationship you see here. That is a fact. So please let us always know these things. So it is not love. So when you start seeing the signs, know that the person has had enough of the sex or of you, and that is it. Work out. Because this thing always disturbs the women more or the ladies more than the men. Because men generally have that player instinct in them. So please, please and please.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Anita. Thank you so much. That's why Sandra will advise you that when you are dating, it's no sex. Sandra, Anita said that when she sees the sign, she would quickly exit. What I have realized is that it is usually difficult for women to walk out of relationships. It's always the men.
Because they've invested their time, their emotions, their affections, and so taking it away becomes very difficult. But the thing is, when you're dating, don't just date with your heart, date with your mind. Watch out for the red flags. I know some signs are quite amber. I call them the amber flags, the subtle ones. You wouldn't know until when it actually hits you in the face.
The love is in the heart. So why
oh no.
Should no. Why are you saying I should date with my mind, not my heart?
You need to think.
Make people understand.
In as much as I love you, I'm not a fool. I need to watch out for how you behave, for the attributes you're bringing in. I need to watch out for, okay, it was me and you, it was all lovey-dovey, it was fun, it was okay, we were together at weekends, we're going out, and then suddenly you're pulling your emotions away from me. You don't come to me anymore, you don't call me, you don't text me, I don't see you. You should know something is wrong. And as a woman, you don't need to wait for the man to tell you adios. You need to know that something is wrong somewhere. And if he's still telling you there's nothing wrong, and still not seeing you, you need to advise yourself. You see, and what Anita said with regard to they go and then they come back, or Gabriel said they don't bend all the bridges. It's so easy when you don't have closure, when you're still hopeful that, oh, he might come back. And so even when they come back, the women are excited. I told you he was going to come back, but he's come back because he's known that you are easily accessible. But when he comes back and he realizes you've shut the door and you've moved on, that's his loss. And if you guys are meant to be together and he comes back, he's going to come back a refined person, and you would know it. See, sometimes you see women in general are kind of like attracted to bad boys. Let me use the word bad boy, because they love the adventure they take them on. The bad boy is fun. The bad boy is adventurous. The bad boy wants to explore. The bad boy will take you places. The good guy you might find very boring, because if it's not the movies, it's going for ice cream, or it's church, or you're going for a walk. So you think, oh, this guy is boring, but he will be the good one for you. But because we love the fun, we love the adventure, we want to explore, And so because of that, your all your emotions are so high, you're on cloud 9. And so when they drop you like you're hot, you really, really suffer. But if you're able to watch out for the red flags, when you're able to say, right, he's pulled away, it's okay, I need to move on. I grieve, I heal, I move on. It's a process. And don't leave the door unshut, because when the door is not shut, he's going to come back and open it, and you might be excited again, and then they hurt you again, and then you start complaining. He's come back and he's hurt me, and why did you open the door in the first place? Guard your heart. but out of them comes the issues of life.
Issues of
Very,
life.
very important. Very important.
Thank you so much. In fact, the discussion is really getting so much interesting. If we are not careful, we won't close for today.
What time is it?
Exactly. We still have a lot of topics, if I should say, to discuss under this very.
You might need to do a part 2 because it's really 9
Exactly.
o'clock.
So definitely we will have to do part 2 of this next week, because we still have very important topics, issues to digest, you know. So we're going to have a part 2 of this next week. I'm enjoying, and I hope everyone is enjoying. Before we exit, maybe we would want to, I just want to give two minutes to each of you to say your last word to our audiences. I'll start with Gabriel.
Right. So the closure thing. I mean, truth be told, do our Ghanaian women, typical Ghanaian women, do they actually seek closure when relationships end? I mean, it has ended. A man would not be able to give you all the answers to the questions that you want to ask as to the whys or the why nots. You will not get every answer. At best, he will try to give you some cosmetic answers, as the case may be. Because one, if indeed the fault is from the woman, and it's something that has the potential of embarrassing the woman, he may not want to say it. So at the end of the day, once it has ended, you move on. Trying to seek answers, trying to find out why, could open another door for him to continue with what he's doing. Because at the end of the day, what you want to know, he's not telling you. Do you really get the closure that you want? So I think we need to look at the closure bits carefully, and get it in the right context and know who actually. Well, one might say we all need closure at some point, but I believe it's not in all cases that you need to really find out the whys and the why not, because you're not going to get all the answers. Yeah.
Sandra, over to you.
Right.
No, I think I should end with you. I should end with you. I'll go to Anita. Anita, he said you shouldn't find answers because you won't get. What's your last word to our audiences?
Well, it depends on individuals, but sometimes having closure is good. Sometimes, depending on how the relationship is, with the kind of stories we hear in Ghana here, sometimes you have to revenge to get closure. Because Ghana here, the stories are horrible. And sometimes if you don't revenge, you will not have closure. So if you don't have that willpower to revenge, you just let everything go. Don't ask anything. Just know that it happened, it happens in life, and that is how the life is. But for the men, just let the women know that, I'm no more interested. Me and I may buy a year. Something like that. If you can't explain further, just let them know that, oh, I don't think I can continue again. Simple. And don't just leave with a text message, SMS, all those kind of disrespectful ways of breaking up. That kind of thing. Some will even break up with you.
Will you even get the text message?
And some I hear break up. Sandra, some I hear break up, and if they had bought you flower,
they ask for it back.
They come and
seriously come to my house and pick it.
But seriously, whatever was bought for you,
your car.
Oh, please and please.
Whatever was bought for you was for the office of a girlfriend, and not for you as a person. I said whatever was bought for you was for the office you occupy as a girlfriend. You once you have left that office, you don't carry
So
official business.
auto draws, mommy, and so I'm in Fambro.
My rod will be to make it.
Sandra,
I see.
back to you.
Hey, you people have issues, so yo.
I know,
Sandra, back
right?
to you.
When Anita was saying you need to sometimes seek revenge, I'm just thinking of what kind of vengeance are you going to seek when somebody doesn't want you anymore? There's no
Sure.
point in seeking revenge. You see, I always say that don't let your ex find you in a place where they left you. Let them
Oh,
see you
yes.
and say, dear, I've made a mistake for letting you go. When a man leaves you as a woman, you better yourself. As painful as it is, go through the pain, heal, move on, become a better version of yourself. Don't let them find you the same place they left you. They left you broken, they left you morose, and then they see you a year, you're still broken. I'm sorry, what is wrong with you? Become the better version of yourself. The relationship wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. Nothing in life is ever meant to be. Even when you are in a job and something happens and they lay you off, you don't have to become morose because you were laid off. It might be difficult for you, but find some way somehow to better yourself so you don't remain in this. So for me personally, I wouldn't advise my client to take vengeance on any man or any woman that left them. No, let them be. Leave them in the hands of God and move on. Listen, I love something that the Bible says, vengeance is mine, I will repay. And sometimes when God is repaying, it's so beautiful because it was.
Sandra, if
Yes.
they borrowed money from you, if they
Oh,
borrowed money,
listen.
huge amount of money from
No.
you, and
That is
would
what
you
that is
have to
what I say.
it and
Oh,
just let
listen,
it go?
you don't need to give a boyfriend a huge amount of money. What is he using it for? For business. I'm sorry, is he your husband? Was there any agreement? What is the collateral? What was the arrangement with regards to that money that you took? Was it a loan or what? There was a story on Real Talk when a girl was like, she borrowed money from her uncle for her boyfriend to go and do and pay for, I think, a medical bill. One was for funeral, one was for business. A whole lot of nonsense. And then when the guy, the guy that said, well, I thought it was a gift. How can I give you this amount of money and think it was a gift? And the relationship is over, And so that's why I said, go in with your head. Think. Don't let the love cloud your judgment. Never let love cloud your judgment. He wants money for business. You are just a boyfriend. Even if I have that kind of a money, there needs to be some sort of a contract written on it. In the event that you don't pay the money, what is my collateral? What am I getting? See, so you don't just go and don't take revenge. Use wisdom. When you're working in life, use wisdom. It's very important. In all walks of life, apply wisdom. Even in just normal friendship, work with wisdom. It's very, very important. And one thing you should know is that when the relationship becomes like seesaw, when you realize that the relationship isn't the normal way, but it's going like it's off and on balance, on, off and on balance, you need to now begin to know that something is wrong with this relationship. And then you tell this guy, listen, I think this relationship is not working properly. Is either we sit down and talk about what is happening or we call it quit. If he says, yeah, I think I don't want it anymore. Yes, it's painful, but grieve, heal, move on, become a better version of yourself. Never remain the same place your ex left you. Never. Let them see you and like, damn, I've made a mistake. And then you're like, adios, I'm gone. I'm not coming back. But this is me. So relationship or sometimes you need to take lessons from relationships. And there might be hard lessons for you to learn, but it makes you a better person next time. I'm not saying be bitter, because when you're bitter and you meet the right person, you project your bitterness. Yes, but don't be bitter. It's a lesson. Move on. In life, we have so many lessons. Some are good, some are bad. Unfortunately, the hard ones, use them as stepping stones. Become a better version of yourself. Mind you, not all dating relationships are supposed to end up in marriage. Not all of that. So take your cues from that. And don't seek revenge. Oh, let them go. Some of them, quite, they are bad luck for you. They come and they block all your blessings. Let them go if they want to go. Who is for you will stay. Trust me. If you feel stuck in a relationship, you don't remain there and think, I have to make it work. If somebody doesn't love you, you can't force them to love you. They say you can force a horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink. It's the same thing. You can ask a man to be with you, but his heart is for somebody else. Why would you want to live with just a shadow of a man? It won't work. It's not right for you. Move on. Heal, grief, heal, and move on. That's life for you. And become a better version of yourself, regardless.
Yes, don't repent. Gabby.
Yes, so since we're going to have a part 2 of this, a lot of the things I wanted to say will reserve for the next session.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Sandra has spoken has given some pearls of wisdom. So he who has an ear, let him hear.
God bless you.
All right, we had a guest on the show. Maybe he wants to say something before we go. Noah. Noah, are you here?
Hello.
Yeah, Noah.
Yeah, I'm here.
We've had you since we started the program, and we are so much appreciative of that. We are almost ending.
Thank you. Thank you. I've heard a lot, and in fact, I've learned a lot. I'm a young guy starting life and approaching ladies, and all the things I've learned this evening will definitely shape the way I'll talk to ladies and the way I'll go about relationships. So I'm grateful, and I want to thank the panelists for what they have said to us. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So this has been your favorite show. We had very interesting discussion today. Next week, we're going to continue with this same discussion. How do we get closure? What does closure mean to you personally? I thank my panel members for such enlightening experiences that they have shared with us. I really took my bit from it, and I know you also took your bit from it. This is still Nayado Show, so we're going to see you next week, God willing. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
More light on my phone. I'm more so.
No. Mayo.
Okay. All right, later.
All right, there.